Hello everyone, welcome to my channel. In this video, we're going to talk about IS Family Functions or operators. So most of them is works like a operators. So instead of calling functions, maybe I will call it like operators. So those are totally six functions, and those are IS. First one is the IS function, ISANCESTOR, ISEMPTY, ISGeneration, IsLeaf, ISSIBLING. So all these six functions will help us to do like check kind operations. Generally we do the operators, right? Less than or greater than, operators in SQL, right? Same way these six operators will help us to do the checks between the member, specified member and existed member. Based on the comparison, they will give the results in true or false format. Let's get into details of each function. Each function is just work like a comparing operator. To give in the example, so here what I did, I just trying to fetch the reseller sales amount and product category. Along with that, I'm just trying to check my condition. If my current category, product category is bikes, then I want to flag it included bikes, otherwise not included. So that's how I define the flag. So here I use the if condition. By using the if condition, what I did, the first I'm doing the check. So product category current member, so this current member will get passed from here, and then once it passed to this current member, then the check that we are applying. So the bikes category is one, the integer value, that's how we are displaying. So if my current member is product category of one, then it flag it include bikes, otherwise not included. Let me execute this query. There you go. So you can see for bikes alone, the new measure, it's a new calculated member is showing as included bikes. For the rest of the rows, it's showing as not included. Similarly, we can use the is function even in the case statement. So you will get the similar results. So basically, the is will perform the checks between the given number and specified number. That's how the is function works. Now moving on. So next one is the is ancestor. Each ancestor is actually again performs the checks, but this time it will look at the ancestor level. So we already discussed in another video what is the ancestor and how it works. So I mean, there when we pass the specified number, it will bring the ancestors. But here, the is ancestor will just check whether the whatever the value that we pass to the query, and for that particular level, whether it's a ancestor or not. So now let me execute this query and to show you. So whether it's a is ancestor check. Now you can see here, I passed the all. I mean, for the product categories, under the product categories, I passed all members. So when I passed all members, that means it fetches the all hierarchy level details, which is the all products and the category and subcategory and the product level information. Out of that, so the ancestor value will be all products. Now if you look at here, for the bikes, right? So bikes, that is the one I specified. For the bikes, the ancestor will be the all products. But instead of bikes, if I change this to subcategory, let me take this subcategory, any of this particular, I think I have taken in the second query. But yeah, for the bikes, the ancestor will be the all products. That's the reason it's showing as a true. For rest, it will show the false. Similarly, if I go one level down and verify whether the subcategory level, so now 23 subcategory, for 23 subcategory, the ancestor will be the products. At the same time, if we scroll down, so where is the other value? Yeah, so you can see 23 is coming from the clothing category. So all products under clothing category will be the ancestor for this subcategory. Rest of the level, they are all false. Okay, so that's how the ancestor function works. Now moving on, isEmpty function. So isEmpty function is just only help you to check whether the measure value is having the null value or non-null value. So generally, when you identify the empty values, then you can define your own logic. Let's say you take the inventory, right? So if you take any inventory value for any business, uh, if the partner is not reported, then we say it's a null. But if the partner is reported as zero, it's a valid because he didn't sell any products, right? Null is different and zero is different when we consider that as inventory. But when you submit of sales or orders, the both are same, null and zero. But only for the semi-auditive measures, right, like inventory and all. So the null and zero will play a key role. Those scenarios, these isEmpty function will be very helpful. So what I did here, I just prepared one sample query. What I'm doing here, if my reseller sales amount is empty, then I say not reported. Otherwise, report my sales amount, whatever the partner is reported. Now, if I execute this statement, you can see here. So I got the data at product level and the reseller sales amount. Wherever I have a null value, then I'm just overwriting that null value with not reported. So now it's a clear that the customer is not reported sales for those products. That's how the isEmpty function works. And then is generation. So the name itself is telling that generation, right? So generation in the sense, if you take the hierarchies, right? So here, if I go back to the date hierarchy, under the date you have the physical hierarchy. So here are the generation is nothing but date is one generation, like late, I mean, this is the physical year is the first generation, and semester is second generation, and then quarter is third generation, and then month is fourth, and date is fifth generation. But the generation count will start from bottom to top. That means date is zero generation, that is the latest generation. Month will be the one level above, which is the first generation. Physical quarter is second, physical semester is third, and physical year is the fourth generation. Now if I given value, let's say the date physical current member that I passed in my select query, and if you want to know what generation it is, whether it's a quarter level generation or it's a month level generation, you can use this G's generation function and identify which level is that. Now you can see here I mentioned the generation 3. So in our hierarchy, generation 3 is nothing but 0, 1, 2, 3 is the semester. So now you can see here semester rows will be marked as a is generation is true. Rest of the values it will show as a false. Okay, so that's how the is generation function works. Even if I change to 4, now this time year, right, year is my generation that I choose. So wherever I have a year, it will show as a true, and rest of the places it will show as a false. Okay, so this is how the is generation works. Now moving on, the leaf. So leaf will just written whether the specified member is a leaf member or not. Now if you take this example, so here I passed members, right? So I'm again passed all time physical time hierarchy. Under that, the leaf value for this physical year is a date. That is a leaf value, right? So wherever you have a date in your result, it will show their is leaf value will be the true. Rest of the cases it will show as a false, because the leaf is very lowest granular value. So just you're identifying whether the select query that we wrote is actually having the isLeaf value or not. That is the only purpose that we use to check the records. Now moving on, isSibling is actually just to tell you that whether the given value is a sibling or not. Okay, and it will also fetch the true for what are the siblings. The parallel values for that specified member will be marked as a true. Now if I go back to this example, so here what I did, I just use the is sibling function. I'm trying to mention that current member. The current member is all the hierarchy from my physical hierarchy, and here I pass the April 2013. So now the April 2013, the sibling values will be that quarter, right? So April is part of the second quarter in the calendar year, or it can be any quarter, right? In physical year it can be which quarter, let me check. In the period physical period, it's belong to the Q4 FI 2022. Now for this Q4, which are the other months part of this Q4 FI 22, for those months alone, the is sibling value will be, I think, let me do this way, avoid the confusion. Siblings. Okay, so now if I re-execute again, I mean, just rename the column name. So now you can see here. So the April is part of the Q4 FI 2012, and the same quarter, May and June also part of the same quarter. Now for May and June, it's showing as a true. For rest of the values, it's showing as a false, because they are not sibling for the April, because they are the different quarters. Along with April, the other 2 months are May and June. Because of that, it's showing as a siblings for them. So that's how the is sibling function works. So these are the 6 is family functions. That's all for now. I'll see you in the next video. Thank you.